Good morning, everyone. On this Thursday of the 11th week in Ordinary Time, we're continuing our reading in the second book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verses 1 through 11. Brothers and sisters, if only you would put up with a little foolishness from me. Please put up with me, for I am jealous of you with the jealousy of God, since I betrothed you to one husband, to present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. But I am afraid that, as a serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your thoughts may be corrupted from a sincere and pure commitment to Christ. For if someone comes and preaches another Jesus than the one we preached, or if you received a different spirit from the one you received, or a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it well enough. For I think that I am not in any way inferior to these so-called super apostles. Even if I am untrained in speaking, I am not so in knowledge. In every way, we have made this plain to you in all things. Did I make a mistake when I humbled myself so that you might be exalted, because I preached the gospel of God to you without charge? I plundered other churches by accepting from them in order to minister to you. When I was with you and in need, I did not burden anyone, for the brothers who came from Macedonia supplied my needs. So I refrained and will refrain from burdening you in any way. By the truth of Christ in me, this boast of mine shall not be silenced in the regions of Achaia. And why? Because I do not love you? God knows I do. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, it's pretty plain if you're reading through this book, this second book of Corinthians, that there's a little bit of tension going on between Apostle Paul and the church at Corinth. And we get a little bit of here at the end that there's some so-called super apostles that seem to be coming in the church at Corinth and stirring up kind of the credentials of Apostle Paul. So he's up against the wall on this. Yet he really does genuinely, as it's read at the end. Do I love you? Yes. God knows I do. So he does. The fact that he's writing this extensive letter shows that he really does care. But he wants to put it in perspective. It's not out of some sort of selfish gain or anything like that. It's out of, as he puts it, a jealousy of God. A jealousy of God, not a jealousy of another person or even to boastfulness of oneself, but a jealousy of God. In other words, everything that is the characteristics of God. That's what Apostle Paul wants to see at the church at Corinth. That includes holiness, Christian conduct, all the characteristics that you would see in a person that's being built up in Christ. So that's the type of jealousy that he wants, especially for these folks. And then he uses another analogy of being the one who's kind of like the best friend of the groom, to make sure that the bride that is there for the groom is the real deal, chaste, one that is appropriate for the groom. And he's saying that's his role as he sees it in terms of presenting this body, this bride, the church at Corinth, to the groom, Jesus Christ. And so he sees his role as being very, very important to have this. So in other words, don't be looking after all these other characters who are trying to sway you in any other way. Follow the gospel that's been presented to you. Stay in that one. Be that great bride that Christ wants. Well, there's a lot to ponder in this little passage here to make sure that our lives, too, are following the right path. Stay safe, folks. Hopefully we see each other soon. Bye for now.